Hi again, everybody. Welcome back to the Cobb TV studios for our weekly chat with Chairman Mike Boyce, and good afternoon.
Yeah, it's good to be back. We obviously took a break last week for Thanksgiving, and I hope that everybody had a great time with their family and their friends. It's a special time to remember the blessings we have in this great country of ours.
Right. And we came back to really a full plate and a lot of publicity that we saw on what we did with the parking decks, and we did that for a very good reason.
Yes, we did. We were between two immovable objects, apparently, or two extremes, let's put it that way. One of them was we have a $374,000 hole. That's part of our $30 million hole for our fiscal year 19 budget. And every year, the hole that has been related to our payment for the parking garage bond has been getting bigger and bigger because of the way that the bond was structured. So the principal gets bigger and bigger every year, and so we have to pay more. And we have not been collecting enough for it to be revenue neutral. In other words, we collect enough money to pay off the premium, the principal, and the interest. On the other extreme, we have the local merchants who believe that if we charge for that garage, that it would impact adversely on their business. And so in the spirit of James Madison, we try to find a middle ground. It's called compromise. I call it consensus. What we can do to where both sides win something, but both sides have to give something up. And now, fortunately, 2 years ago, the city of Marietta, along with the county, funded a study with Lanier to evaluate this very issue of how much we should be charging for parking in the area, not just the garage, but also around the area of the square. And fortunately, that study came out with some recommendations that showed that what we were proposing was even lower than that. So once the board saw that, and in conjunction with all the discussion we had about this issue at the work agenda on Monday, plus other conversations afterward, plus I think it's very important to highlight that Eddie Cannon called the company back because one of the proposals by Commissioner Burrell was to see if there could be ticket validations by some of the local merchants. And Eddie called the company and found out we in fact can do that. So I think there were a lot of, certainly people saw that we were trying to do the best we could under the circumstances. My primary responsibility is to reduce the deficit and create a balanced budget. And I think that what we proposed was a fair decision. The first 30 minutes in the garage will be free, and then the first 2 hours, except for the first 30 minutes. So from minute 31 to minute 120 will be $2. Anything above that will be $5. And that gives people lots of options. But it also addresses the fact that we need to bring in revenue for the garage. And I think that the people will see that this will not be the burden that a lot of people believe it's going to be.
And as you and I have talked before, this is one of these instances that shows where public input has a big role in what eventually comes out. And even set the way it is, it's not permanent. In 6 months, we'll take another look at it.
That's correct. The former mayor of Marietta, Bill Dunaway, called me. We had long discussions over a couple emails and a couple phone calls, and I encouraged him to come and make his presentation Tuesday night. And I also encouraged other people to come and talk, as well as other merchants. And I think that this reflects a government, a board, that hears people, and we tried to make a fair decision. That's what we did on Tuesday night.
What do you hope after 6 months that we'll see?
I hope we see more revenue. But I also hope that we don't adversely impact on the businesses around Marietta Square. And it's a matter of, as I tell people a lot, it's not about change, it's how you do the change. So we're gradually, making some changes. In fact, in many cases, you can park cheaper during the day than you can right now because it's a current $5 fee. So if you want to go have lunch at an outlet around the square, it's going to cost you $5. Whereas now, you can easily do lunch in 2 hours and only pay $2. So I'm hoping that what it's going to do is going to draw people into the garage that wouldn't be there before because they realize that it's a reasonable price to pay to park your car in a protected environment, both physically and public safety wise.
And we pushed back the start to February 1st as well.
We did. To get marketing out there. And like you said, we're going to be reviewing all the numbers in July to see how this proposal is working.
We get to this time of year, we always want to look back on things and see how things are working. One of the things that I know we've been looking at the county is the circulator bus down in the Cumberland area, and where that's going from here.
Right. There's been a lot of confusion about the circulator bus, and it's regrettable because it's a program to help businesses and the hotels in the area transport their guests to retail outlets in the area. And first of all the outlets they can go to, the Battery is one prime example, have not been built yet. Secondly, it takes time to grow anything of this magnitude. And yes, the ridership isn't what some people think it should be, but the bottom line is those that are riding it are enjoying it and benefiting from it. Thirdly, it is connected to Cobb Link because it goes by the Cumberland Transfer Center, and people keep forgetting that those hotels and those restaurants in the Cumberland Service District, the labor comes from people who use our transit system. And there was a great story not too long ago about a lady who rides the bus to the Cumberland Transfer Center and then gets on the connector bus and and that takes her to her place of employment in the Cumberland in the Cumberland Service District. If it's 1 people or 100 people, that's the person that's going to work, and that's someone that's going to help us in the long run because they're paying their taxes, they're drawing a salary, and they're providing a badly needed service inside the Cumberland Service District. I think most importantly, I know Commissioner Ott would want me to highlight this. This circulator bus is not paid for out of taxpayers' wallets. This is a service provided out of the hotel motel tax, which was part of the mechanism that was going to be used to fund the stadium. It was one of many, many proponents of that development agreement and the MOU to all bring additional retail business to the retail outlets and to the stadium. And so there's been, because it has, a Cobb Link brand on the side of it, people mistake that it's a Cobb County program, so that means Cobb County is paying for it. Well, we're going to fix that because I think one of the proposals that Commissioner Ott is suggesting, and I support it, is we rebrand the buses to reflect that. But we're just going to have to keep insisting and letting people know that this is the program that has nothing to do with your taxes. It's a program that's important for the people that use it. The hotel owners like it. I went to a meeting not too long ago where we talked about some changes we're going to make to address new bus routes and perhaps even bring in more hotel owners. And I'll tell you, I left that meeting really, really surprised about the support for the circulator. It didn't reflect the another story that I'm hearing from other people about the buses are running empty and so therefore they shouldn't be supported. No, the hotel owners like this thing, they're paying for it, and my line in my world is you're paying for it, then you get to decide how you're going to use it. And I think that we're going to do all we can to support the service district, including the circulator, but to the exclusion of using taxpayers' dollars.
And we went into this, if I recall, knowing that the routes may have to be tweaked.
Sure, right. It's like anything else. You try something, it doesn't work, you adjust it. But I can assure you that if the hotel owners didn't think that this bus was worth the effort, they're not interested in supporting a lost program. They're not interested in losing money in their businesses. So that's why I try to tell everybody, trust the business owners. They're the ones that want this system. They're the ones paying for it. And if they don't want it, it'll be gone because they want it gone and not because anything that we're doing to impact adversely on that program.
We're getting into the holiday season now, and holiday parties are popping up. Some fill the county building with smoke occasionally. But we also have some volunteer groups working as well, and the Friendship Club, even as we're taping this, is doing something very important.
Well, we have the opportunity as county employees to take some of our paycheck and donate it to something called the Friendship Club. And I do that. I donate every month from my paycheck. And then twice a year, we take the money from those donations and we give them to a worthy cause in Cobb County. And I believe this month we're giving $52,000 to some, once again, the least in the loss, as I call it, in Cobb County. I think it's important that even though Cobb County is an incredible place to live, I really believe it's the best place in Georgia to live, if not America, we still have a poverty rate somewhere around 10%. And those numbers mean about 70,000 people do not live as well as I do. And I think it's important that we remember to that the circumstances sometimes create sad things in life where you become part of the least and the lost. And the Friendship Club addresses some of those needs to make sure that we bring some cheer to people in this county.
Right. And as we roll into December, I know for a lot of people it's a time to relax a little bit, head toward the holidays, but for you and I and folks in this building, it's not going to be terribly relaxing because next year brings some big challenges.
It does. Just before I came down here, I was looking at my schedule for next week, and I just looked at Janet and I said, I thought it was December. I keep telling people there is no slowdown in this government. We in the board are responsible for providing policies that continue to support a 5-star quality for 740,000 people in this county. And you just can't take time off to do that. There are a lot of moving parts here, and I just want to make sure that everybody, again, takes time for their friends and their family at Christmas time. But I can assure you that this county will be working through the holidays. We have people that will not have the luxury of being with their families and their friends on Christmas Day or New Year's Day because they're out there defending, protecting our county. They're out there ensuring that the roads are clear, that the water's working, that the information services we need are there. So it's a wonderful time to appreciate the gifts we've been given in this county, and that to experience a spiritual renewal every year that I think fills a gap that money and other things can't fill. Sometimes you just need to fall back on your spiritual life, and this is the month that I think that we do that in this county.
All right, well, I appreciate it. With that, you'll know that there'll be some more topics for us to cover as we go through December. Join us next week. In the meantime, keep up on Cobb County events by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and our other platforms. And in the meantime, have a good day.
Okay. Thank you, boss.